Hi guys, welcome to the Wrestling Retrospective, and in this video I'll be going back over my AEW All-In card I'd like to see video and kind of explaining what my head was thinking at the time, whether I got it wrong, whether I got it right, all that stuff, similar to what I did for SummerSlam a few months ago. So yeah, let's get into kind of what I guessed for All-In, I guess. So starting with the 0 hour, I had 3 matches on the pre-show 0 hour, what I want to call it. The first one I had was Hook defending the FTW Championship in an FTW Rules match against Zack Zodiac. I thought this made sense as far as England and stuff. You know, with Saraya bringing her whole family out last year, it made sense to me that Zack Zodiac would have got a pre-show match of some sort. So why not have because he seems to have this thing where he's like really violent, or at least comes across like he would be really violent, therefore Hook would be a good opponent for him, and it being FTW Rules. Also at the time of recording that video, Zack Zodiac was pretty prominent on TV. I'm pretty sure he was having that feud with Angelo Parker on Rampage. Since then that feud's kind of ended and we haven't seen anything of him really, not over the last maybe couple months, or very very little, whereas Saraya we've seen a lot more of. So I'm not sure whether he's gone back to England or something like that. But yeah, I thought at the time, Zack Zodiac would at least get on the All-In card, just to give him that moment and stuff of wrestling at Wembley. But that, of course, isn't the case now. Hook is actually facing Chris Jericho. But yeah, I thought it was a decent pick to go off first, but was unfortunately wrong. After that, I predicted Chris Statlander to face Willow Nightingale in a match, and I'm technically right, I think. You know, they're having a mixed tag team match instead, with Chris and Stokely Hathaway taking on Willow and Ishii, or Ishii, however you want to say it. But yeah, I feel like this was a pretty solid pick for a match on the All-In pre-show, and I pretty much got it right. I know it's not a mixed tag, but we are getting this match All Out instead. So I think it was kind of going that way with Stat. I don't think Statlander had turned heel at the time of recording, or she had just turned heel. So it made perfect sense to have it here, and I thought here would be the blow off of that feud. Turns out they're going to do it All Out instead, which is fine. But yeah, I think solid pick. Technically got it right, so pretty happy with that one. And for the final match on the 0 hour, I said I had 3 matches. I had the Bang Bang Gang defending the Trios Championships against the Undisputed Kingdom. And I was, again, not all wrong. You know, the Bang Bang Gang are going to be going after the Trios Championships. They're not the actual champions like I thought they were going to be. And to be fair, the Undisputed Kingdom could be the wildcard team. I don't think they will be, or I think like they're one of those topper teams to kind of get in the match, but I feel like they might be in the Gauntlet Eliminator as well. So I don't know. I thought that the Bang Bang Gang was going to keep the titles longer than they did, but then due to Jay White's injury, they got stripped of them. So, and of course on the card I have Jay White and the Guns, not Juice Robinson and the Guns. So I did get it wrong, but I thought that the trio titles wouldn't be as important as they actually are going into this, being in a ladder match and that. So yeah, I got it wrong, but I'm glad that we had like a better match than this one in my opinion on the actual show. So I was wrong, but for the right reasons, I think. So for the first match on the main card, I had Samoa Joe versus Chris Jericho. And again, I don't think I was far off with this one. Obviously, I wasn't anticipating Chris Jericho to win the FTW Championship, or if I did, or if he was champion at the time, I would have thought he had lost it by now. But he did injure and take out Samoa Joe, so we are due that match at some point. We're just not getting it all in like I thought. So again, not very far off. I think it was a decent way to get Jericho on the card. I feel like having Hook on the main card this time is probably going to be a lot better. And I feel like Hook and Jericho is going to be quite a decent match. But yeah, I do think, as a decent pick for me there. And yeah, I did get it wrong. But again, story-wise, wasn't too far off. After that, I had Jon Moxley taking on Kazuchika Okada. I always fucking butcher that. It's Okada's first name. But I feel like this is probably a very controversial one, because I feel like this still could happen. Obviously, Okada is defending the Continental Championship against Claudio Castagnoli on this Wednesday's Dynamite. But if Okada wins and then like kind of attacks Castagnoli after the match or something, we could see the return of Jon Moxley and have this match on All In. So at the minute, it's not happening and I'm wrong. But there's actually a chance that I could get this right still. So I think it'd be great. I know that Moxley won't be IWGP champion at the time, but it was the best render I could find at the time of recording on that video. But will it be for the Continental Championship? I'm not sure, but just having Okada versus Moxley would be awesome. If not, maybe they're both in the Gauntlet Eliminator, but then they both have to be like lose, which isn't great, because I don't think either of them would win that match. But yeah, I feel like, you know, it would be a great match for one. I don't think I'm too far off, especially with Okada facing a Blackpool Combat Club member on Wednesday. So maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. We don't know for sure yet. I hope it does happen, obviously. But I'm not all wrong. But I could be by the end of Wednesday. After that, I had Jack Perry defending the TNT Championship against Darby Allin, and I was right. I mean, it's not the... I didn't get the stipulation. I didn't put a stipulation on it, and obviously it's a coffee match, but you know what? I thought I did pretty decent at. I thought it made sense after or going into Double or Nothing that these two would have a match and have a feud over the TNT Championship. And yeah, I've got it spot on, so I'm very happy with that one. I feel like the coffee match will be really fun between these two. I'm hoping it's going to be like a really, really bloody and violent affair. But yeah, for me, got this guess or wanting correct, so pretty happy with that one. Following that, I had the Young Bucks defending the Tag Team Championships against the Acclaimed, and again, I'm not wrong. I'm also not right either. It's going to be a triple threat match instead between these guys and FTR. So technically, I am right. I think I'm going to take a point for being right because they are in the match, they are facing each other. But FTR have been added to the match as well. Am I a fan of the match? No, because I don't like the Acclaimed, I don't like the Bucks, and I'm not a massive fan of FTR either. FTR is, if I had to choose between the three, FTR is the team I'd choose. But yeah, I thought I did decent on that one. I think it made sense with months and months of the Acclaimed winning against the Young Bucks, getting a title match and just not using it. So yeah, it made perfect sense that this will be the match at All In. It's just that, as I said, they've added a third team instead. So yeah, I say not too bad guess from me there, I don't think. So the match that I thought I got probably the most wrong out of all of them is this one here, the Anarchy in the the Stadium Stampede match between the Don Callis family, Orange Cassidy, Shibata, Kyle O'Reilly, and Dustin Rhodes. I generally thought we would guaranteed a Stadium Stampede match, and instead we got a better match in my opinion. I feel like the Casino Gauntlet has replaced the Stadium Stampede, which I am all for. It's like a AEW mini Royal Rumble, which I think the fans are going to love. I'm going to love. Obviously, like, the dream is to get a Royal Rumble pay-per-view on, you know, be able to go to one. So we get a mini one probably in the middle of the card, which I think is pretty cool. As far as thing, I feel like I accidentally predicted half of the conglomeration with Orange Cassidy and Kyle O'Reilly being in there, but yeah, I think out of everyone on the card, I feel like obviously we know Orange Cassidy's going to be in the Gauntlet Eliminator, same with Kyle O'Reilly. I feel like the biggest person we're missing on this card is Takeshita. Takeshita is arguably like one of the biggest heels in the company, and I know he's been over in Japan competing in the G1 Climax, but hopefully he's in the Casino Gauntlet match, because he's definitely deserving of being on the biggest card of the year for them. The fact he hasn't got his own match is a bit criminal, but again, if he's been away in Japan doing the G1, then fair play, because that is a galling tournament. So, but yeah, this one could not have been more wrong with, unfortunately. So when making the original Card of Light T video, I was so confident with this one. I thought Saraya versus Mercedes Moné, Saraya's hometown versus the woman that injured her and put her on the shelf for many years. I thought, perfect, like, this story writes itself, and yeah, I got it completely wrong. Saraya is absolutely nowhere near this card. I don't think she's going to even get on the main card. I think her match on Wednesday against Toni Storm on Dynamite is going to be the closest she gets to Wembley, without just a backstage segment or something. Or I've heard that she might do an open challenge, which I think would be awesome, but then I don't know who they would have come out and face her anyway. So yeah, I think, as I said, I thought this story wrote itself. The injured neck, the fact that Mercedes, or Sasha at the time, took out Saraya, Paige at the time. I said it writes itself, so I was fully confident this was going to happen, and instead we got Mercedes and Britt Baker instead, which arguably I think would have been a better match overall. But yeah, I think for me, definitely got it wrong, but I think we got a better match instead, so I'm not particularly bothered that I got it wrong. Following that, I had Will Ospreay to defend the International Championship against Pac, and this match was so close to happening. If they hadn't have done the MJF and Ospreay thing and they hadn't had MJF win the international title, this is probably the match we would have had. And Pac has been absolutely screwed out of a match at Wembley. Like, hopefully he's in the Gauntlet Eliminator match. But yeah, like, he was guaranteed a title match at Wembley, and then Ospreay kind of jumped him a bit and got a rematch instead. So now Pat's having his international title match at All Out instead, which isn't where he's from. So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting choice. Maybe we could have done MJF versus Pac here, and then done Ospreay versus whoever won that match at All Out. But I feel like then you're risking leaving Ospreay off the card, and arguably Ospreay is a bigger draw than Pac. Though that might be a controversial opinion for some people, I feel like that is just the facts of the state of AEW at the minute. So yeah, I'm disappointed we don't get Pac versus Ospreay. I thought it'd be an absolutely banger match, but Ospreay versus MJF will be just as good as we saw them go like nearly an hour. So, but yeah, I said at one point this match was actually on, so I feel like I'm not too far off. But yeah, unfortunately, I did get this one wrong again. Again, a match I could not have been further off on. Adam Cole versus MJF 3. I thought we were going to get a rematch from last year and kind of finish that feud off. And I think, again, if it was around Double or Nothing when I did the video, it would have been when MJF physically got involved with Adam Cole. So I thought Adam Cole was due back any moment. And it turns out that just wasn't the case. Because he's not back yet, and I don't think he'll be back anytime soon. Again, we've heard reports that he might be back soon. But again, that's a big might. So I don't think they're ever going to do this feud back again. I feel like, you know, someone's going to have to be a babyface here. They're both bastards. So I don't know whoever going to run this back will get the kind of conclusion to the feud that we deserved at the time, because it was the hottest thing on AEW television at one point. But yeah, for me, could have been more wrong. I don't feel like I was too far off if it was just after Double or Nothing when they got physically involved with each other. But yeah, it's a shame that Adam Cole's been out for as long as he has been, but we're getting MJF versus Ospreay, which I'm sure will steal the showings one way or another. So again, unfortunately, I was wrong, but you know, I don't think I was too far off again, but I'm not sure. Following that, I guessed Mariah May challenging Toni Storm for the AEW Women's Championship, and I was bang on right. I felt like Mariah May was 100% going to win the Owen Hart tournament, and she did. I felt like Toni Storm kind of laid her own bed as far as, you know, putting Mariah May in the tournament, that Mariah May would then win. And at the time, I didn't want there to be a turn. I kind of want them to stay friends and have a respectful match over the championship. But the build for this match has been absolutely incredible, and I'm glad they did the turn. So yeah, for me, very glad I got this one right. I feel like this is going to be one of the better matches of the night, if not the best match of the night. And yeah, I was very happy to get this one right. Now, following that match, I want Jamie Hayter to return. For me, obviously I can't tell you whether this is right or wrong, but for me, I feel like Jamie Hayter has been due back at any moment now for ages. Every time Toni Storm has successfully defended the Women's Championship, I have been waiting and waiting and waiting to see if Jamie Hayter's musical hit, and then it fades to black and I'm all disappointed. But if there was ever a place to get Jamie Hayter probably one of the biggest pops of a return in AEW, it would be at Wembley, and to do it in London, which is obviously England, where she's from. So genuinely hope this does happen here. I think I will lose my shit. I've said for months I would lose my shit when Jamie Hayter returns, and it would make my day if I was there when she did return. Whether she would, I think she was a babyface when she left. So I feel like, you know, she has the history with Toni Storm, who took her out with the Outcast when she first left. She took a feud with Tony, but also she never lost the AEW World Championship. Well, no, she kind of did. She did lose the championship, but not really. She kind of just got squashed after a beatdown. So, you know, she's going to want the AEW Women's Championship back, and versus Mariah May will be a great first feud for Mariah May as a top heel going against a top babyface. So I feel like it just makes the most sense here to have Jamie Hayter return in front of her home country and just to the world's biggest pop. And last but certainly not least, I had down Swerve versus Bryan Danielson for the AEW World Championship, and I was right again. Again, as soon as Danielson entered the Owen Hart tournament, I thought it was more or less guaranteed that he was going to get the win there, and I was bang on. It makes sense. I feel like him missing All In last year was really bad. So yeah, I'm very happy with the fact that he gets on this card. The whole final countdown thing I think is really cool. The issue I have is the title versus career. I think that's a terrible idea, but I'll talk about more when I do predictions later on in the week. But yeah, for me, I thought it was going to be a banger match. I'm glad I got this one right as far as I think, but it was kind of obvious when it came to it being in their Win Heart tournament. So yeah, for me, very happy I got this one correct. So there is my look back at the All-In card I like to see, kind of explaining what I got wrong, what I got right, or if it's not been decided yet, kind of what my thinking was at the time and all that stuff. Yeah, if you do enjoy the video, do like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm going down to All-In on Thursday, so my predictions will be out as quick as they can be on Thursday before I go. And I also have a interview on Bobby's Breakdown, which I will advertise on the channel probably later on today. That is on Wednesday about 8 PM in the UK, which is about 3 PM in America, I believe. Where we're going to talk about All-In this year, talk about All-In last year, and kind of go through some stuff, do predictions, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, if you do like that kind of thing and you're a fan of Bobby's Breakdown as well, go watch that interview because I'll be on there. And yeah, I'll ask you to again like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.